two key players on the side of Magic Squad. GU and Italo, these two have been instrumental to defining what Magic Squad has achieved so far. Not to take it away from the rest of the team, but these two have been phenomenal. And of course, as we go into Kalahari, the teams are trying to get that trophy away from Mr. Wacker, because that's what they are fighting for right now. We will see if that's going to be the case, because Kalahari, I think, is interesting. We'll see if RRQ Kazu wants to take back Refinery from Magic Squad.
Yeah, flight path skewed towards the right here as it cuts through from Stone Ridge all the way down to Shrines, leaving Maze and Mammoth quite the distance away. But as you can see, SES Alfine finds the sub for themselves. This is going to give them that bird's eye view from up top, but also a lot of area around them to loot up. They just need to be a little mindful of the positioning of Alpha. But looking at the performance of Alpha thus far, it doesn't seem like they're going to be that big of a threat for the squad.
Well, for this Esports, it might not be the same. They've hard drop onto that blue tier, the high tier loot zone with AB Radicals. And we talked about this from the beginning, right? These two, it's not easy to miss AB Radicals. It's not hard to miss them, excuse me, because they always take the high tier loot zone and they're paying for it.
Absolutely, man. It's not difficult to find these boys at all. If you want to look for the Filipinos, you look for a blue circle, and there you go. You'll get all of them there. But this is the problem with AB Radicals. They haven't really been able to keep up with the very aggressive gameplay that we usually see out of them in the Grand Finals in here today. Jason Scar will be able to take down Wine, and if Wine himself cannot get those CQCs completed, there's just no hope for AB Radicals in here today. Wine is their most phenomenal player, but he hasn't been able to strike a beat throughout the whole day.
And you can say the same for Ray Miao, the wonder child from the Philippines, right? When he first joined the scene under VPH Velocity, this guy was the absolute Hawkeye of the entire MCPS region. And right now, not really showing up. I mean, you are looking at the pillars of AB Radicals crumbling one by one. And I feel like it's definitely not entirely on them, but it's also these teams understanding what to do against AB Radicals. You're seeing this very passive and responsive gameplay that hasn't worked out.
Modestia, good drop. Tanamo doesn't see exactly what's happening behind him. Is Modestia going to be able to get this backstab? We will have to wait and see. Enigma Galaxy, on the other hand, holding on to this compound at Foundation and slowly surrounding the players of RRQ. But Phil God manages to dodge that Spaz 12 in hand. He can turn it around, but unfortunately for him, the time turner is just a tad bit too late. Gets taken down. UMP in the hands of Razor, and RRQ the first ones to draw blood.
But he's going to get revived instantly by Stop. NGX are not in the perfect position to fight RQ Kazu, so it's understandable why they decided to take that backseat and go for the safe play. But on the other hand, Naguara, they're facing off against Vasto Mundo.
Yeah, Naguara, Cole. I mean, Naguara has been having quite the troublesome time out there in the Grand Finals, but as quickly as they go down, Maxi brings them right back into the matchup. Naguara still alive and kicking, but not much loot on two of their players. Blazer 10, and Faku pulls up a great blue wall, but look at the securing here coming through from Vastamundo. The backstab was just way too good. Faku out for the count.
The grappling gun, very crucial on a map like Kalahari. And that is what allowed Vasto Mundo. They knew that the Naguara member was alone. All they had to do was to put pressure and outnumber him on that roof. They did exactly that. On the other hand, Ignis Esports are going to face off against HQ Esports.
RRQ brings their team members right back in, all thanks to Pac-Man. Ignis, on the other hand, fighting for a lot here. They want to get the top 6 for themselves first. Ghost goes down. Jason, good backstab. Woodpecker manages to get that shot, and he gets the elimination point for himself as well. Eric Max 7 needs one more shot. Can he get it? Pulls up the glue wall, and what a play! Gets the headshot. Hand goes down. HQ continues to struggle.
Eric puts on his dancing shoe and just dances around the members of his opponents. This is this incredible movement. He was in the red, uses the building, uses the structures to protect himself. Phenomenal play.
You could have slapped it and he would have gone down, man. I mean, that was just so close for the player from the side of HQ. But Eric's just way too good, man. I mean, happy feet. He danced around that perfectly. RRQ, on the other hand, Razor and Maybe needs to look for a little bit more of those loots. But this danger zone is just going to tease them for a little bit as they run away. They were at the very edge of it. Refinery is the home of RRQ, and they are right back at it.
It's good to see that RRQ got control of Refinery, but also partly because Magic Squad decided to not contest it early on. HQ Esports bringing the two fallen members back, but as quickly as we say that, Vasto Mundo, on the other hand, have engaged in with Ignis Esports.
No offense to HQ Esports, but the more they bring their team members back, they are just gonna feed into some of these teams. 180 by Jason Crusher got crushed instantaneously. Jason's playing this on a whole other level. Ignis on the long side flank doesn't even need to do much, but Kano down on the ground though. Can he get to him? Yes, he can. Jason getting everything done all on his own. IGS is on fire right now.
5 eliminations just on his own. This guy has eyes on the back of his head for sure. HQ Esports, they end up losing Neo after those 2 revives. So it's going to be another tough round. I mean, HQ Esports, we were all agreeing on the fact that they was just responsive, a very passive team. They're relying on that macro, and it's good that they stick to the identity. But so far, that has been overshadowed by all these maneuvers from more active teams. You know, Ignis Esports, Vasto Mundo, the Brazilians, the Thais. It's just proving to us that you have to also make your own active decisions.
I mean, if even Vasto Mundo is struggling in this lobby, there's no surprise at all as to why HQ is doing the way HQ is doing right now. But they just need to find a solution. They have to avoid all of those engagements if possible and just take those final circle fights as much as possible, right? But now Ignis manages to sneak on into confinement, but Vasto Mundo meets them from the edge here.
Oh no.
Timing's just a little off. Eric misses that grappling hook climb, but look at this. It is the one and only Luca who drops by Kano Max 7. Luca's not getting off and he gets taken off by pure aggression. I mean, that was no way that was going to go his way.
Critical mistake from Luca. I understand the maneuver, but Crusher just parachuted down. You do not have the numbers advantage. You do not have the arsenal advantage at least. Vasto Mundo getting punished a bit, but thankfully IGS are also down to just 3 members, so there is still a chance to fight on even ground.
Eric needs to turn the circle around. Crusher has got the exact same gun. It's the Max 7. It's all about who gets the pop first. Ice Grenade will force Eric away. He's not going to be able to make that entrance just yet. Catches up with Carlos. Both of these boys. The 2v1 situation can be set up here as long as one of those players from the side of Vasto Mundo makes that mistake. Eric on the second floor. He finds nobody though. Vasto Mundo downstairs. Those glue wall melters ain't going to be doing jack upstairs. And one good grappling hook brings him up to the top. Carlos bites the dust. What a headshot by Blazer. And here comes Eric for the response. Can he trade him right out? Brings out the glue wall. One more shot. Eric gets denied.
Blazer with the hero move, and they might just wipe out the entirety of Ignis Esports. Kano, once more left to his own devices. He has been the clutch master of the team, but can he survive this pressure from Vasto Mundo? Gets away, buys a bit of space, but Vasto Mundo are on his tail.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Kano barely has any room to get away. He can't even pick up his team members. Eric's up top. Kano gets tagged up and Ignis gets flushed out. This is just a phenomenal stand-up round by Vasto Mundo. We just highlighted them saying that they were struggling in the competition. They realized that as well. This is just a fire round for Vasto Mundo. 3 rounds, more than enough for them to squeeze right back up to the top 3.
That's the kind of initiative I want to see. Blazer 10 rushing the roof, getting 1v1s, winning them. We want to see these from more teams. Vasto Mundo setting a really good example. But right now, SCS outfight. They see Evo's Phoenix on the slow ground. Evo's Phoenix debating how to maneuver this, decides to take that long route. There's no need to engage SCS. The night is still young. The round is still early. There's plenty more time and plenty more space to go around.
The Knight's not that young though. The Knight's getting quite old here. All of these players are getting tired, but they just have to remain razor sharp. They have to remain focused. Joe from up top. Jonah on towards the left-hand side as well, but Ray has got that LFG, trying to keep him a little bit pin sit down, but all of those defensive structures were supposed to be the best of engagement strategy. Just by dodging behind, he does not need to lose any one of his glue walls. God Cruz a little too far away from the rest of the Evo squad. Get high alongside Moshi, and now SES are fine. They've got the advantage. Bird's eye view, EVOS might just lose 2 players here.
And they are still putting pressure onto Evo's Phoenix. But just to give a bit of props to Evo's Phoenix, they have always controlled zones that have revival points. So even if they lose a member, it is not too big of a deal. Now they are the one who is controlling Refinery. RQ Kazu have moved away just a little bit. But with the state of the circle, Evo's Phoenix might also have to consider moving.
Kate playing this slowly, just 2 more players left on their side. They are the #1 ranked team at the moment, but very early engagements has just forced them to struggle just a tad bit here. Apologies, not 2, but they do have 3 on their side. Vasto Mundo loses, plays a 10. That's going to be a huge shot coming through from the one and only HQ, but they get one traded out instantaneously. Nunes with the backstab should be able to find one. Artemis flies away. That grappling hook is sound, but the backstab's just way too good. Nunes should be able to secure this for himself.
Vasto Mundo does it again. Go on the roof, catch the isolated members that's keeping Watch out, and you gain a numbers advantage to control the building. Vasto Mundo have gotten this equation down to a T, and HQ Esports, they're getting picked apart. Han needs to hold his team together, but he's getting pincered. Vasto Mundo once more stays in this game.
This is why I want HQ. Don't revive your players, man. You're just going to be feeding into teams like Vasto Mundo. Vasto Mundo thanks them with a huge big smile on their faces, but Crusher, the final remaining player here, needs to find a revival for the rest of the squad if they can, and if they can get into that final circle as well. This is going to be a massive round for Vasto Mundo. The likelihood of them finishing things up with a booyah is going to be really low though, because we are already at the halfway point. Even if those team members are brought right back, the kind of loot that they might be able to get their hands on is questionable.
Despite that, I would say it is so far so good for Vasto Mundo. Another round where they're showing up and they have 12 eliminations so far. This is crucial for a team that was placed 3rd in FFWS Sentosa just a couple of months ago. You know, there is some pride in there. And I like the fact that there was a buy point, so Crusher bringing back Luca at least, making sure that at least he has a companion. At least there's a second hand to help him out.
That's a smart move. Instead of using all of his coins to buy back every single player, he brings one back first as an insurance policy, and I'm very sure he's going to rotate around looking for one of those revival points, because it is going to be risky. When you've got teams like EVOS Phoenix just camping around revival points, it is going to be absolutely messy when you get there trying to revive your whole squad. So that insurance policy should still keep Vasto Mundo as one of the big threats for that final circle. RRQ Kazu, on the other hand, they're struggling to find their eliminations within this round. And Razor, as well as Maybe, they've been slowed down as they got taken down a little bit too prematurely. SES Alpine on the opposite side. Now, this fight between the two brothers from the side of Indonesia could break out at any moment.
And Magic Squad also finds themselves in a pickle with Alpha. And just now Alpha tried to rotate, but they lost their vehicles in the process because Magic Squad was pressuring them the entire time. And look at Magic Squad. They know that they have the advantage of the circle, and they are just keeping Alpha at bay. This is crunch time for Alpha. They need to find a way to push into Magic Squad.
Does Brazil take the championship back to their country? It all started in 2019. Nade will be able to tag one, but instant pickup will be possible. Bobs now erects that glue wall, but Red Bright Rhythm rips it right away. Drax as well as Italo. Zone comes on in as well. Bobs gets taken down. This is Alpha. Finally, they wake up in the competition. Yet another nade can be very useful here, but Raid himself gets taken down. It's all up to Remind. GU way too far away, and Magic Squad sprinkling their pixie dust on the Alpha squad right now. Double barrel in the hands of Rewind, but it is a 1v2. Drax steps on in first, and that ice grenade was just the perfect solution for him.
Just unfortunate tragedy for Alpha. The team that helped out Magic Squad coincidentally was K. They were the ones vouchering the kills. They made life incredibly tough for Alpha, and right now SDS Alpha finds themselves taking down members of EVOS Phoenix.
And it looks like the Indonesian players want to rise up to the top. And yes, this is the best way to get it done. But Moshi responds with a Groza headshot from down below. And that's one of the weak points of having that bird's eye view. But look at Jojo. He holds on to that tallest point on the battlefield right now alongside Ray. They've got the grappling hook, which can get them to safety down below. Gaday's going to be safe. And therefore, SES Alpine, once again, a major threat within this next circle. But look at Cade, ever so slowly dodging all of those engagements. Once they make it around this big bad boulder, they're going to be coming across RRQ Kazu, and RRQ Kazu might not be very happy with that. But Magic Squad should be able to cut them off halfway. And look at the positioning of Magic Squad. This might just be the pincer that does Cade in.
Also look at the position of Nigma Galaxy. They just saw 3 teams pass by them. Magic Squad able to get into the circle. Say the same for RQ Kazu, Kate coming in from the corner. But NGX, they watched all of this rotation happen, and it is so easy to get those pickoffs.
Vastomundo now, Crusher moving on in first, and Bob's a little bit too slow
and
to
Jax is
catch
going.
him. And yes, he does move on up to the top. Here comes Feel Good with the sprays, gets maybe, ducks away behind the container, gets the second one as well. Feel God feeling good right now. Can he get the third? Backman backs away. Feel God misses this shot, but he's not slowing down just yet. Turns around the corner. Bob's on the other hand, very low on HP, but a glue wall erected by his opponent keeps him alive as well. He's gonna have a lot of time to recover.
Fights on different fronts, NGX winning all of them. And Magic Squad wiped out by Stop. And he also found Pac-Man. Vastomundo goes out thanks to K. Nigma Galaxy stamping their insignia on Kalahari.
And Nigma Galaxy, they lost their #1 spot, but it looks like it's high time they take it right back. Now, once again, high tier. All of this bird's eye view is going to be able to get them the advantage. Question is, do they have a grenade launcher? A couple of grenades, solid on its own, can do the damage against Cade right now. Down below, they've got the time to play around with, and right in front of them, here comes RRQ Kazu for the treasure as well. But Nigma Galaxy backs away for that bird's eye view on that left-hand side.
And K gets wiped out. RRQ Kazu.
Too good.
They were not able to do much. They were not in the fight, but Nigma Galaxy did it perfectly. SES eliminating Stop, bringing the NGX down to just 3 members. Riptide, Rhythm, perfectly done. Ooh, Bara puts up a clutch wall.
Oh, what a great glue wall pulled out. Timely matter that saves the lives of SES. And now, Nigma Galaxy gonna be a huge problem for this next fight. But Legolas, nade, but due response with his own glue wall that keeps him up and surviving. Legolas takes Ray out of the equation. Jojo Gade as well as Bara, they're all waiting. Legolas can do the dirty on Team Nigma Galaxy, but it's all about the timing.
This is crucial for NGX. If they can get this win, this is going to put them in such a good position in this final and give them the second booyah. But Caramel got snuffed out by Bara. SES Alpine waiting in the wings, getting this kill, and they are now about to erupt in the final fight.
Dew saving his brother, 2 grenades. Gade has got the grenade launcher. Nigma Galaxy about to eat a couple of big
Here it comes.
One, the first one, but that does not tag anybody up just yet. Dew has got that double glue wall set up. Glue wall melter, courtesy of Gade. Now down at the bottom, it's gonna be Bara as well. That charge buster gets absolutely nothing. RRQ Kazu still alive and kicking up top. He's avoiding all of the engagements. Caramel has got the grenade launcher as well. What a 180! Nigma Galaxy taken out.
Legolas.
This has to be SES, and Legolas flies on through, but the Indonesians get a booyah!
You have just witnessed the first seed of Indonesia playing like the first seed of Indonesia. What a performance from SES. 2 rounds that they have shown us that they can do it, and both rounds were classic, were just phenomenal gameplay all towards the end. The rounds that they have gotten for themselves, vouchering kills, getting high ground, taking advantage of teams they want to rotate. NGX did phenomenally, got a lot of info, but I mean SES Alpine did a better job.
This was a hard-fought booyah by the Indonesians, but the highlight to see exactly how it broke down. Now, I have to say, I called it out after match number 2. I was waiting for SES Alpine to join RRQ Kazu on the left-hand side of the leaderboard. not only did they join them, they were just one step below them in the earlier matchup. You call that out. They were struggling just a little bit in comparison to RRQ, but look at where they are now.
I mean, SES Alpine, this is the first Booyah that they got in the finals, but they also had a previous round where they did very well.
Yes.
And these two rounds have a similarity, right? They have a common playstyle that we saw. SES Alpine playing the vouchering game. They were getting high ground advantage, and they were picking out members from different teams who were rotating inside. And we talk about Ray from XCS, right? He is the rusher for the team. It's great to see him show up, and he really did play his part in this map.
One of the highlight plays, in my opinion, also is from the side of Nigma Galaxy. The players of Cade right below them under the platform. There was no line of sight at all. They hop on over to the boulder on the left-hand side. Cade did not see that coming and instantly put them out of the equation. Alpine picking up 21 points for themselves. 12 from the Booyah, 9 from the eliminations. Nigma Galaxy doing phenomenal as well as they shut many of those teams up with the 19 points to their side. And Vasto Mundo, this was a breakout run from them. It's just unfortunate that they only managed to sneak away 5 of those placement points.
This is the second round for Vasto Mundo where they had an incredible performance. I mean, they took out both, I believe, HQ Esports and Alpha in the same manner where they were just pushing, they were just going for the rush, and they completely caught these two squads off guard. You can say RQ Kazu in 4th place with 14 points. Cade also did fine with 13 points in 5th. Ignis Esports kind of rounding out the first page with 8 points.
If Vasto did not pick up absolutely nothing in the previous round, they would most definitely be in the top 4 right now, looking at the kind of massive points that they can pick up for themselves. But of course, here's the overall standings and how the leaderboard has been shuffled. It is still going to be dominance from the Brazilians up top with the 93 points, but Nigma Galaxy's quickly catching up, 85 in that second place. Magic Squad wants to sprinkle that pixie dust to slow them down, but it's not going to be possible because Nigma right now is on fire. The Shooting Stars are about to bust through the Brazilians in this next matchup, unless of course something messes up for them.
We have 2 more rounds left, AJ. It is not a far cry if we say that NGX might win or even Cade taking the trophy back. The trophy was first claimed back to Brazil during FFWS Rio, and maybe after 3 years it would be brought back again. Cade is leading that charge.
Cade is most definitely leading the charge. There is a possibility here that the Indonesians might be able to sneak it away from both the Thai as well as the Brazilian squads. But in order to get that done, SES Alpine needs to hit massive booyahs in the next 2 rounds. And they've clearly shown us that they are capable of that. RRQ Kazu, on the other hand, they've shown us that they are capable of consistency. Let's see if Indonesia can prove themselves out there on the battlefield. But who's the MVP for SES Alpine? You'll be able to see that right now. G'day with the 3 eliminations. This guy was surely the playmaker for the squad.
And I was looking for SCS to not just rely on Ray to be the rusher, but also to make moves as a team. And that match just now was the perfect example of SCS Alpine realizing that we do not need to be the passive ones. Why are we holding back? Go forward. We are the first seed of Indonesia. We had this title of runner specialist. We do not want that to stick with us.
The top eliminators of that matchup, as well as a lot of action broke down on the battlefield. Surely you should see one Nigma player here. Yes, you do. Dew picks up the total of 6 eliminations to pick up the top spot for himself. Jason and Modestia tied for the 5 eliminations each. Ignis, though, it was really unfortunate for them. They had an opportunity to run away with this game, but the gameplay crumbled a little prematurely.
And it's very tough in those situations, right? These 2 teams, both Ignis Esports and K, were caught out in the open a bit too early, but we also gotta look at the key players from game number 6. We have Vasto Mundo's Crusher, 4 assists, and of course Ignis Esports' Kano with 11 glue walls built.
And of course the glue wall destroyer, the one and only Dew, he takes them down with a Riptide Rhythm. Not only that, he just shoots down some of these glue walls just so that he can get access to the elimination point right behind those glue walls, and he got the job done for sure today. 6 eliminations in total, all thanks to those plays. Jason, on the other hand, he was super accurate today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was incredibly on point. At least this is one of the rounds that he was able to do so. Remember, Ignis Esports, they did get a booyah, and that booyah came from them being able to sneak into the circle. We were looking for Ignis Esports to put on a bit more of a proactive move. This round was one of those rounds.
And of course, Thus far, we've gotten 6 rounds all sorted out already. We've got Purgatory and Alpine coming up for you guys. But a quick recap on all of the Booyahs from the start of the day. When we kicked off Bermuda, it was the home ground. The Titans, EVOS Phoenix, Undying, Comeback Kings, but they have already gotten silenced just a tad bit. Nigma Galaxy picking up that Booyah at Kalahari proved that the home ground advantage is a real thing. And this was the round that you mentioned from Ignis. Purgatory Game 3 was where they stood up, and they stood up tall. Perhaps in this next matchup at Purgatory once again, we can see Ignis shine through.
And I hope that's the case. I mean, for the side of EVOS Phoenix, they have not done well for the past 3 rounds, and it is going to be a worry for them if 2 more rounds left. How you wish it's just 6 rounds, because K would have ran home with the trophy, but we have 2 more to go, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the past 3 matches, I believe they barely picked up a lot of points for themselves. Ignis got a total of 20 points from 3 games.
Oh yeah.
That's not Ignis quality at all. That's not the usual Ignis that we see out there on the battlefield, but it is what you can expect when you've got a lobby like this. It's stacked with pro players. It's stacked with pro players that can eliminate you on sight. The moment they lay their eyes on you, you're pretty much gone from the equation, which is why some of these open rotations on those hills are just not the best of ideas.
One thing I like about Ignis Esports right now is they were sticking to the identity, just like AB Radicals, just like HQ Esports. Honestly, just like the rest of the team, Ignis Esports continue to play that 4v4 rushing playstyle, and that's what defines them in the Latin region, and that is why they are so feared. Even though they're not really the front runners right now, I want to see them continue this pressure, make these teams unsettled about whether they can get the Booyah or not.
Yeah, and you know, Ignis most definitely has an opportunity to continue climbing up the leaderboard, but getting that #1 spot might just be a little bit too difficult for them. We have to take a quick short break. When we come back, we head right back into Purgatory. We'll catch you in a bit.